just explain how you can still be having the same problem 3 years later. Thanks.
In my old job as the core state or the SLS manager, after Artemis I and the challenges we had with the leaks, we took a pretty aggressive approach, as Charlie mentioned, to do some component level testing with these valves and the seals, and try to understand their behavior and their tolerance for surface finish and FOD or debris or scratches or something like that, right? And so we got a good handle on that relative to how we install the flight side and the ground side interface there. But on the ground, we're pretty limited as to how much realism we can put into the test. And then at the end of the day, and what I would say to that is, we try to test like we fly, but this interface is a very complex interface, and when you're dealing with hydrogen, it's a small molecule, it's highly energetic, and we like it for that reason, and we do the best we can. And actually this one caught us off guard, and the initial things that we were seeing, and the technical team felt like we either had some sort of misalignment or some sort of deformation or debris on the seal.
I would just add that to Marcia's point, we did make some changes, while not to the cavity itself that John was explaining, but we did make some changes to several of the hydrogen components. I talked about the replenish valve. We had a leak there. We did a design mod. It worked great. We also made some changes. If you remember from Artemis I, we also had changes in what I would call the back of the plate, in the purge can and in the debris plate. We changed the flex hose design that comes into the back of that plate. We took the way that some of the hardware was mounted and made it hard welds into the plate. We also took off some of the things that had a cantilevered load. That was some improvements we made during Artemis I, but we did make overall improvements to the ground side of the plate, and we did not see any hydrogen leaks there yesterday. So those two areas were things that were lessons learned from Artemis I that were incorporated, and they tested out really well yesterday. And it was the first chance we got to do that test in this environment.